Hey guys, what's up? Today, I had a very special occurrence when I was making a YouTube video. I ran into this streamer called Bisquick TV. So, while I was actually practicing to make a video for you guys, I ran into this streamer who actually streamed our entire match. His name is Bisquick TV. If you want, just go ahead and go check him out. He's awesome. So, when we were practicing today, we had this amazing issue with running into a Highlander who would do nothing but change his kick into a caber toss repeatedly. So, today's video, I'm going to be practicing against caber toss to the best of the bot's ability to mimic it, since apparently I've been testing it and they won't actually feint into it. At least I haven't had that happen yet. So anyway guys, yeah. So that was awesome. Still awesome. Go check him out. And now on to practice. So what I've figured out is the second that it gets to his hip when he kicks is the point of no return. Right here. Right. I'll try and do a freeze frame if I can get the editing to work right. But for all of you guys that have had this issue, where he's changing his kick into a caber toss, I believe the point of no return is just as it hits his hip. I'm going to practice it a couple more times, see if I can get it to go right. And I know it's hard for me to talk over him because he likes to shout at me. And that was bad. If that had actually been an attack, I would have just gotten heavy attacked unblockably. Alright. Yeah, it's the second that it reaches his hip that I believe, is the point of no return. Right there. I'm going to keep practicing that for a little bit. And then I'm going to join you guys in a couple of real matches and see how it goes. Alright, here is our first opponent of the night. Let's see what we get. Oh, one of the new DLC characters. Not too sure about this guy yet, but I do know that he has a move that's similar to... Oh, what character is it? Oh, the Amarushi. Yeah, he has a move very similar to that of the Amarushi. Two of the DLC characters actually do. Alright, let's see how good this guy is. Aha! Ah, crap. His moves hurt too. They're not that great to get hit by, even as a Conqueror. Just not fun. Yeah, and a lot of the older characters you can just take a parry right into a heavy, but it's these newer characters, and the Warden in particular, you just can't do that with. Ah, I should have gone for a guard break there. That would have been really good. It's kind of like dealing with a Peacekeeper, because that move, when it's faked out, it's about that fast. It's ridiculous. Oh man, I went to dodge that. Dang, that was a good call, Mr. Enzo73. Good call.
Round 2.
Yeah, got me. I'll be the first to admit that these DLC characters are they're not my favorite to fight. They're just dirty in so many ways that it's not even funny. Keep the pressure on him. Ooh, superior block. Nice! And ring out.
Victory!
GG. You know, honestly though, you don't need to ring out with the Conqueror that
Round
much.
3.
You don't even really need to push people against walls as long as you know the timing of their attacks. You can basically shoulder bash them and to interrupt them and then whack them without too much risk. Oh, yeah, that is another thing about this particular DLC character is he has a lot of problems with stamina. So I can sit here and apply a lot of pressure on him. And he'll basically crumble underneath of it. They updated the stamina system with the Marching Fire DLC as well.
Round 4.
So getting parried really hurts a lot more than it used to for your stamina. And he quit. Wow, okay. I'll take the free win. I mean, it's too bad that he quit, but still. Alright, so on to the second match. And we have arrived at round 2. Let's see what we get this time. And we get the monk. As I can't remember any of the DLC characters' names and I didn't just check them. Thing about the monk is he seems to have a very similar fighting style to basically like a Highlander or Orochi. It's weird, but it's not too bad as long as you know when to dodge, because the kick, the double kick that he does is pretty hard to telegraph. I mean, it's not a cut and dry thing. I haven't found a way to really stand against it. I'll probably just have to go into the training arena like I did with the Highlander. Fix that. Is he AFK? Oh no, there he is. And he has a deflect. And he's out of stamina. A lot of these DLC characters run into this critical flaw of stamina. Much like our monk here. A lot of them fail when it comes to a old-fashioned stamina stakeout. There's no way they can really fight against it. See that move right there when he shimmers is when it happens. I don't know exactly how to telegraph that yet. Yeah, but I'm willing to figure it out.
Victory!
Look at that! What the heck? Look at his face. It's just hanging around. I guess he got a little bit ahead of himself. No? Okay. Ah, dirty play. I'm freaking thanking you in the chat, and this is how you greet me? What? Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. That was dirty. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed.
Victory.
You should be ashamed of that. That was so dirty. Dude. Wow. Okay, no more good fights for you.
Round
No more
three.
good fights for you. Oh, frickin'. That deflect move is so wonky to dodge. It's like the Highlander's parry. His light attack parry, because it's just an unblockable slap at your character. And it hurts pretty, it hurts pretty. It's pretty painful. Aw, man, nice. But, yeah, it's... all of these new DLC characters are basically just pretty
Round
simple, because what they do is they mix... Man, that's loud. What they do is they mix the styles of the other ones in the game already. And they kind of make something new out of it. Yeah, the only way I've ever found to dodge that move is to actually dodge it before it happens. It is just not something you can telegraph, at least not that I've found.
victory.
Yeah. GG. Is this supposed to be luminous owl spelled weird? Yeah. Alright, well that's it for fight 2. And we are on to the third fight of the night. Alright. This time we're getting a Valkyrie. Ooh. This is more what I'm used to fighting in none of these DLC characters and all that nonsense. Not that the DLC is bad. These characters look fine, but I just like sticking to the roots, and when it comes to these fighting games especially, I really don't know if I really like the DLC add-ons, because once you get used to fighting these characters and then they add more characters, it's not really helping the competitive environment per se. It's just making it more diverse, which just requires a lot more practice instead of basing it on more skill. It's kind of based on, you know, how your opponent's going to fight you. Okay. So we get progress. Progress. Interesting. Not sure I like this fighting style. Ooh, I'll take that. I'll take a trade like that any day. I even dodged. Oh, that's a... See, now I get to have my fun.
Victory.
And that, my friends, is how you juggle with a shoulder bash. Though I really wouldn't recommend it if you're up against an opponent you don't really, that's either more experienced or you really don't know how to fight, because they can dodge and punish you pretty badly if you don't do it right. Yes, yes. Not sure about this guy yet. I mean, he's got some pretty good moves, but I'm not all too sure about it yet. Why did I do a zone attack? I literally just hit the right button. And there we go with stamina again. And thus begins stamina juggle, which really does not end in his favor. Bam. So when you're fighting a Valkyrie, just a tip, when you're fighting a Valkyrie, it's just best to hold your guard in the direction of their first attack, as they'll just typically fake it into a shoulder bash, so the worst that happens is you block. That's honestly the best way to deal with it, especially if you're a Conqueror, because they really can't do anything. I try to go for more dangerous punishes sometimes, and sometimes I'm just not good enough to dodge, but it all really depends. If you guys want to go for shoulder bashes, it works like that. It'll work from time to time. You can punish them for their mistakes, but I wouldn't recommend shoulder bashing every single time, or you're just bound. You're just bound to get up against someone who's just gonna dodge that shoulder bash and punish you over and over. It's a really frustrating way to die. But it looks like I've talked myself all the way through another round. So yeah, that's the Conqueror versus 3 different enemies, but that wasn't entirely the intent of this video. As I've already mentioned, I did get a streamer, so that was pretty cool. I'm probably going to do another match or two just to, you know, keep things lively, but I'm not going to do too many. And the 4th match of the night is against... looks like another monk. Another DLC. These are really popular right now, probably because they just came out and they're still in beta. They're really not that great. They're not bad, but they're most of the time they're just the same as fighting any other character. I mean, the only moves that would be an exception to that would be,
Round 1.
I guess, this guy's double kick to the stomach, because I can never figure out how to telegraph it. But I don't know, it's probably just got a parry window or a dodge window, just like everything else does in this game. Wait, is this the same guy from earlier? Yeah, this is the same guy from earlier. Yeah, this is the same monk from earlier, I can tell by the way he's fighting me. Don't want to end up against the same opponent more than a couple of times, because then they just start reading your fighting style. And that's no fun. I mean, how else are you going to get to use these amazing tricks? I actually did manage to dodge that somehow. Even I surprised myself. And we're resorting to dodge spam. Yep. Which is a mistake, because eventually I will figure it out. Ah, that was a bad idea. Yeah. I should have went for that light attack. I don't know why I just went for the heavy strike.
Round 2.
This is... I don't know if this is the same guy from earlier or not. I'll have to take a look at that. Typically when someone with a reflex guard breaks, they're either trying to plan against you with a guard break or do something unblockable or pull some sort of shenanigan that you don't want them to. That's the typical rule of thumb that I always use when I'm using all stance. Typically it works out. Sometimes like that I'll get punished for trying it. Does that stance not... can he not dodge when he's in that stance? Is it like a reflex guard? Well, not a reflex guard, deflect. I don't honestly know. I mean, maybe they added toggleable stances since the Nabushi's hidden stance. Really interesting to find out once they come to the public, if they don't come out for silver. If they come out for silver, it'll be a while before a lot of people, including myself, will be able to play them. This guy is trying to read me and trying to make me go on the offensive. So we'll just sit here for a minute. Sit nice and tight. make him think about it for a minute, because I don't want to... Last thing you want is a counter-attacking character predicting every move you're going to make. It's good practice. I won't lie. I'm not opposed to taking huge amounts of practice. Come on. And guard break. Whoa! I actually used a heavy attack on that, and strangely enough, it did not cancel his guard break. I mean, it's pretty obvious he was going to go for a guard break, but apparently they updated it so that when you're out of stamina, you can't stop a guard break with a heavy. I'll have to start using lights and heavy instead of heavies for guard breaks. Let's see how that goes. If I can just telegraph this guy enough, I can... Yeah, because he's just going to start doing this nonsense. Trying to block and dodge and all sorts of nonsense that I can't stop on average. That's the problem when you try to Conqueror shoulder bash a lot, is that, well, there are three different timings to doing it. There's immediately, there's right in the middle of the bash, right in the middle of the dodge, I should say, and right at the end of it. Each of these will actually appear differently, and you can trick your opponent by varying these up. But I wouldn't really recommend doing that too much, as kind of use that as a last resort, because you don't really want your opponent to telegraph your one move you need to break their guard. You really don't want that. Because if you do, then you're just going to end up against this nonsense, where if you try to do anything, they just start telegraphing little shocks out of you and doing that nonsense. So we lost the fourth match, which is fine. It's probably the same guy from earlier, which is why we're losing. Don't give stars to the DLC characters. But it's pretty clear that the DLC characters are here to stay, and we might as well get used to them, because I don't think we're going to be in any way, shape, or form going back to the days where we only had 6 characters, or was it 4? I don't think we're going back to those days anytime soon. We're going to have to deal with the Gladiators, and the Highlanders, and the Valkyries, the new expansion stuff. Yes, there was a time when this game was in beta, they didn't actually have Valkyries. They had Wardens, Conquerors, Warlords, and Berserkers? That sounds about right. So this is going to be the last match of the night. I'm not going to drag this out too much because I want to talk a little bit. And I think this is a new guy, and we're fighting the monk again, because this is a really popular character, it seems, the monk. Even though it's not really all that great. Honestly, I'm a lot more afraid of the Tiandi than I am of the monk, because with the Tiandi, she has this move where she basically has a Shigoki length attack that's unblockable, but I guess from when I was experiencing, she could parry it, or parry while using it if she finds it. I don't really know how this is gonna go with that character. I've only fought that character about 3 times on this character. Actually, probably 4 times in general. It's just not someone that everybody's using. Yeah, that is a stance. That's what I thought. I knew it. I knew if you keep it. I knew if you keep it up, that he can't move. So if he wants to do something unblockable, I can basically just roll away, and he can't hit me. Like that. He can't move. Which makes it really a great counter to that move, just to roll away. It's basically like a Highlander, except Highlander can move. It's essentially the same thing. Except it's actually easier when you're fighting this guy. So this is the stance right there that I was talking about. And they also updated it, seems, so that if you use a guard break before your opponent, or even after them, and this guy, when he switches to his stance, does not immediately execute things. He could have killed me 100 times over by now if he was trying to, because I'm busy talking and not actually fighting. So I guess I will probably cue up some music and see you guys after the end of this.
Round 3. Defeat.
Well, that was a certainly appropriate ending to a fight series of a fight game, ending with a neck-and-neck 2 to 3 match. How situationally appropriate. Alright guys, and that's it. That's what we're going to be doing for this video. But, so the story behind what happened earlier and why I was training with the Highlander first, I think I already told you I met the streamer, but when we first dueled, he was actually playing a Conqueror and I was playing a Gladiator. And we were both dueling in the 1v1 arena, and little did I know, he was actually streaming the entire time. So I'm playing this level 4 Gladiator, basically toe stabbing, spamming the entire match, and he's recording this whole thing, and I somehow actually won that match. I don't remember if it was 3-1 or 3-2, but it was pretty close. I think it was 3-2, and I actually got him on the last move. I was so not expecting to end up against this guy. So we talked for a little bit, and then we got into some duels. He's a pretty nice guy, so we dueled for probably a good hour and a half with other people in brawls. And we get up against, I mean, we're steamrolling up to this point. We have probably 6 or 7 3-0s behind us and a 3-1. And we end up against this stupid team of a Highlander and a Gladiator, both of which were particularly bad against on our mains. He's playing a Warden, and I'm playing my Conqueror. And their Gladiator was literally just spamming his unblockable, and the Highlander was essentially doing the same thing with his caber toss. He would just be feigning the kick into a caber toss over and over and over, and neither of us figured out the timing to dodge it, so we got swamped pretty bad. And I decided after that I was gonna practice against the Highlander and make it so that I would never again be fooled by a caber toss feint. But overall, it's a pretty awesome experience to end up with someone who plays this game, who records it like you do. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any suggestions or challenges, please leave them below in the comments. I will see you in the next one.